You just yell draw.
Draw!
Yeah, I think it's safe to say I lost that one.
Hey there everybody, my name is Benjamin Kennedy, otherwise known as Instructor Bensei, and if you're new here, I'm a martial artist that posts a lot of videos on Instagram and on TikTok of taking this big ugly rock on a rope called a meteor hammer and smashing things with it. Sometimes I do trick work because it looks pretty and it's cool, sometimes I do some practical application work using it as efficiently as possible as a weapon, and sometimes I just do some pretty flow work where I just move around with it for a while. All three of those factors are really important, but if you're, not new to the internet and you've seen some martial artists working in the past, you've probably scrolled through their comments and seen people say, "I'd just shoot you," right? That's sort of the go-to for people that don't really understand what they're looking at or why it's inherently valuable, and they want to feel important. Haha, I'd just shoot you. Now, all of your arguments are null and void because bullet go bang, make body go brr, right? Not necessarily the case, and I'm spiteful as all hell. So what I decided to do was put my money where my mouth was, go practice with a really good friend that I value, and see how this goes. I definitely don't practice enough under pressure, which you will see, and I definitely need a lot more work on my quick draw, but both of us found some really interesting things that I want to share. Spoiler alert, I don't win this at all. But there is quite the potential to, if I put some serious work in. Do I want to test it for real? Absolutely not. But in a safe training environment with a friend, we can get some of the really cool stuff out of the way and some of the subtle nuances get to come out. So anyway, I think I'm done talking. If you are excited for this video, please like and subscribe so you can see more of it. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some footage, and I'll pop in from time to time to give you a little bit of feedback and sort of blow by blow to talk about what we noticed, what we saw happen. Didn't I say I was done talking? Anyway, here's the rest.
Draw! Draw!
As you'd imagine, starting from an open carry position made my draw significantly faster than Brandon, who was starting from a concealed carry position. On top of that, range finding for me appears to be significantly more important than it is for Brandon, because if I mess up my range, I don't hit them.
Draw! Draw! Draw!
He wins, bro! Let's do it again.
Draw!
This feels like the first true leap forward in progress for me. I realized at this moment that grabbing the flag was going to make this way easier to deploy, and even though my accuracy was off, which led to him getting first shot on target, it was a faster draw.
Draw!
So from this point forward, I've switched to a live meteor hammer, and this loss was all about draw technique. I didn't really know how to do it effectively yet, and I was trying to draw through my pocket instead of around it.
Draw! Draw!
As you can tell, yet again, I'm sort of hoisting myself by my own petard because of how little I practice this quick draw. I have the ability to get mine drawn much faster than him. That being said, because I keep missing, it's taking me time to recover, and that shot right there would have put me down on the ground. But we do see some market improvement from the first draw till now, don't we? The accuracy and reliability of my draw is getting better, but it's still not good enough. He would have shot me right as I was about to hit him.
Draw!
Weird. It's like if you don't practice under stress, you won't be good under stress. Who would have thought?
So by this point, a couple of things are extremely clear. First off, I need to practice more under stress. No duh. If you don't practice under stress, you won't perform under stress. Second, we also learned that there were a lot of times where if I had practiced under stress more and if my accuracy was better, I would have hit first and meaningfully, which is really cool because not even I was certain on that. I was like, I think so, but seeing it was just wild. Now we're going to move into a reaction-based game where his draw is my cue to draw and vice versa, and we're going to see what happens there. My accuracy doesn't necessarily get much better, but we do see some more cool pieces start to fall into place. Let's take a look.
This was wild. So because my draw doesn't look like something that he would normally practice training to see, it was significantly harder for him to clock it and react meaningfully.
Something like that. Something like that.
Having to draw off of reaction is almost always going to put you behind the 8-ball. The fact that my draw came out faster than his laser pointer went off, which means faster than he fired, is insane.
Let's move on.
Okay, no, but in all seriousness, we need to look at the fact that the daisy chain didn't disengage and it didn't unfurl like it was supposed to, which means it can foul up on itself. And that's something that I have to consider.
You win!
Yeah, bad day. Yet another example of why finding your range is important with something like this. I should have hit around the same time as him, but because I was too shy, I just didn't, and he won.
So the last little tidbit of footage I have for you is basically an after-action debrief where Brandon and I talked. We talked about what we noticed, what we saw, and let's see how that stacks up to some of the things that you may have already noticed by this point.
So what did you notice about this? First thing I noticed is I got shot a lot. That's fine. I'm cool with it, but I definitely got shot a lot. What did you notice?
So that was a lot faster than I expected to be. But even more so what made it faster is I was worried about you having a gun, I'm looking for that
very
attachment
specific,
to, that motion to the waistband and this lifting or clearing motion. Your hands are just in your pocket, and yeah, maybe you have a pocket gun that you're just gonna pull out.
That's not the normal draw.
No, it's not. And so, like, even that makes it even faster because your initial motion is already the draw. It's not even the clear.
Yeah.
And so that was like that half second or whatever it is, 2/10 of a second.
Yeah.
Even then, that made a huge difference in me recognizing what was going on.
Something that we need to talk about as we continue through this discussion is one of the things that Brandon just touched on, which is he basically needs to understand the threat and see the threat in order to react to it properly. And this is where we get into something called OODA, which is Observe, Orient, Decide, Act. It's I believe, originally a military acronym. I want to say Air Force, but I'm not sure. And it basically stands for how brains function and process information. There's a thing called an OODA loop, which sounds a lot like a nice cereal, but sadly it's not. And it's basically how we freeze as human beings, right? It's observe, orient, observe, orient. We get stuck in those two O's, and we don't move on to deciding or acting. You have to train really hard when you deal with some unexpected violence in order to make sure that you get to the decide and act piece, but everyone gets stuck in that observe, orient, even if for just a small moment. That also leads us to talking about fight or flight responses, which is a stupid way to talk about it because fight or flight isn't actually how it happens. The gazelles don't see the lion and go, yeah, let's go fight it. No, they freeze first, right? They hold completely still and go, does it see me? And then when they realize it does see them, right, they observe and orient. When they realize it does see them, then they decide to flee. And then they act on that. See how these work together? And then if they try and flee and realize that they can't flee, they observe and orient. Then they decide to fight because I'm going to go down swinging. I may not be big enough to take you up. I'm going to take that left ear. And then they act, right? When humans, especially in this particular instance, get stuck in that observe, orient situation, we call it an OODA loop or a freeze. And one of the things that we need to acknowledge with this is when they experience unexpected violence or violence in an unexpected way or an unexpected situation, something like this coming out of my pocket to hit you, which doesn't look like a weapon you've ever seen before, right? They will freeze up and try and orient to the new thing that's coming to them because for all intents and purposes, it kind of just looks like I threw out my keys. Oh wait, why is that long? Why is there a flag? Bang! Right? And this isn't just some copium that I'm making up. This is based off of the information and research that we've done. If you want to learn more about this, I can do a deep dive on this later, but just understand at this particular point in time, it's really interesting to note that something like this is so unexpected to fight and or see in any sort of weapon capacity that it could very well cause someone to freeze up, giving me more time than I normally would with any other tool that they would be used to seeing to act accordingly.
For the trolls that think a gun is faster, I mean, yeah, if you practice with it. But one of the things that hopefully we saw is as I practiced more with this and got more shots in,
it got a lot faster for me. And I think that if I took the time and did my due diligence like I am supposed to, and practiced more with those draws, I think it gets worse.
As you get that going towards me,
Yes.
as I'm drawing, as I'm still doing my draw motion, I mean, even the times where we were pretty much a tie, like a lot of times that was with, I mean, I saw you pulling it out, but I wasn't reacting to it. Me trying to get accurate shots on when that's in my face is going to be a huge difference.
Just like with firearms, open carry made it way easier to draw and way faster. If I have the weight already out of my pocket, it's going to be significantly faster to draw. And again, because it just
But I'm
isn't
ground
some-
from concealed, so I have the
Yeah, no,
I have the same
absolutely.
issue, right? I have the
Yeah.
same issue.
And it's one of those things where most people are not used to looking for this as a thing that's going to hurt them. They're just going to go, oh, weird butt going, okay. Like it's going to be something that they look at and they're like, what anime is that from? And it's going to be fun. But again, right, your open carry, my open carry is different. But I really like the fact that I'm here and I'm there. And that's my swing. And we're good to go. Just sort of collecting the information. First off, I don't know many things that beat a drawn firearm for you. I mean, saying sorry and giving them your wallet if that's what they want. I think that reaction is always going to be slower than action, and the amount of training you put into your work will show. But at the end of the day, I like blood in my body. I don't want to test it for real. We good? We good? But yeah, thank you so much.
It was really fun, and it really was eye-opening. It was a lot closer than I thought.
I am so excited to practice more. I'll tell you where you win every time. Your holster's so much faster than mine. I have to do all this.
My double taps are fast.
Oh my god, your double taps are way faster. I think I can work on it, but I know that the motions that I make are almost always going to be slower than you going like this. Yeah, that's going to suck. Thank you so much. Really appreciate all your work. You're the best. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so a few final closing remarks before we call this video. I promise I'll keep it quick. First and foremost, I think that firearms are really, really good at what they do, which is put big holes in people with very minimal effort and minimal training. But with that, as you see, the tool that you practice with the most is the one that you're going to be the best with. If you practice with your firearm as much as you should, then you're going to be great with a firearm. If you practice with a meteor hammer as much as you can and should, you're going to be really good with a meteor hammer. And just because firearms are really good at making people concrete temperature doesn't mean they are the end-all be-all of tools. Likewise, just because I can use a meteor hammer to draw faster than a firearm doesn't mean that people should use one for those purposes. Practice what you like. Make that the thing that keeps you safe. Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourselves. I had a blast, pun very intended. And if you guys have any questions or comments for me, I'm sure I left some holes in this, so please feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can, because I'm going to go practice my quick draw some more. Bonus content time! You know what, since you stayed to the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys how to make this daisy chain belt for yourselves, because Mark Fox showed me, and I'm going to share it with you guys, because Mark is awesome, and this needs to be shared. So, I'm going to go ahead and take the anchor, the side that would normally connect to my wrist, and I'm going to go ahead and fold the anchor line over the lead line, which is the line that I'm going to call the side attached to the weight, right? So I'm going to take the anchor line, fold it over the lead line, and I should make this nice little loop like this that I'm holding on to with my fingers. From here, I'm going to make sure the anchor line falls down and underneath the lead line as I reach down through the hole that I've created to grab that lead line and pull it up and through. From here, I'm going to repeat that process, and after a couple, I can just let go of the anchor, but I find holding on to it helps for just a little bit. And I'm going to continue to repeat this process until I get all the way down to the weight. I can flip it over to make it a little bit easier at a certain point, but it's pretty much going to be the same thing, continuing that threading process. Now, once I get down to the very last one and I don't have any more room, I'm going to take the weight and tuck it in my pocket, and I'm going to take this last bite that I'm holding on to, which is really the only thing keeping this all together. As soon as I let go of this, it all comes undone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck that into my pants and underwear as sort of like a safety, if you will, a spot to hold it. Now that that's tucked in, like this, I'm going to take the rest of my line and pick one of these little sort of daisy chains, and I'm going to pull a piece away from it that I'm going to tuck into my waistband on the other side. And from there, now I have this nice little belt going across, This can get tucked into my pants, the remainder of it, and now we're just good to go. This is it. This is the belt. Once I pull on this, usually using the flag makes it a lot easier, and I've learned that my draw is back and out since my pockets face backward, right? My draw back and out as I pull this one bite of rope that's tucked into my underwear. As soon as that completely comes free, everything else will come undone. And that's how you make this daisy chain belt. Hopefully you find this useful. And now I'll see you guys later. Bye!